want to continue here with a couple of major weather updates for you. Let's begin with a live look at a very active X-rad radar here, taking a look at conditions that are moving across the state of Florida right now. And this comes as the Governor Ron DeSantis has issued a state of emergency due to severe weather conditions. We want to go out right now to Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer. He joins us live right now in Gulfport, Florida. Aaron, walk us through how conditions are looking right now.
Well, Lexi, right now, things have calmed down quite a bit. But if you came out here, about an hour and a half ago, I've covered a lot of hurricanes, a lot of tropical storms and major storms down here over the years. And it felt like what it normally feels like leading up to a hurricane or a tropical storm. If you look out behind me, that what the water looks like right now, it is really calmed down. But just a little bit ago, those waves were crashing over the seawall. Those boats out there, those sailboats were rocking back and forth. In fact, speaking of those sailboats, I spoke with somebody who lives out here in this community. She lives on her boat. Decided to come off of the boat because of the storm that was coming in. But she said at least a half dozen people she knows decided to stay on those boats, stick it out. And, at this point, it looks like they probably made it through safely because not all those boats look to be in pretty good shape. But, it's just a risky decision that these folks who live out here decide to take. Now, I want to show you what that storm, as it came through here, did do. We have some flooding out here in downtown Gulfport. You can see it's kind of gone across the main road, just a few inches on the road out there. This is something that people who live out here have dealt with through the past several storms, whether they be hurricanes or big thunderstorms or a major storm in the middle of winter like this one. It's kind of surreal, actually, to see these Christmas decorations still up and have this kind of storm and ramifications following a storm like that. But yeah, they're used to this kind of thing. They put sandbags out just in case. A lot of these folks have like hurricane kits that they keep all year round. One of the people I spoke with was telling me that she kind of has like a flooding kit where she has sandbags ready to go and ready to fill up just in case this kind of thing happens at any point during the year. The good news, like I said, is it looks like at this point, this is the kind of flooding that we've seen in the last hour or so. The question is going to be, what's going to happen later this evening? And neighbors tell me that high tide comes in around 10 o'clock or so. That's a concern because this community is very prone to flooding. That water can come right back in around 10:15 or so and flood these businesses, the homes that are all around here. And that's the biggest concern, especially for a lot of these folks who just got through a hurricane and another major storm, both of which flooded their homes and caused some major damage. They just made those repairs, and they're concerned, Lexi, that they're going to eventually have to make some more repairs if the flooding gets worse overnight.
Yeah, Aaron, Florida residents, many of them certainly no stranger to this type of weather here. And, we're seeing behind you as you're showing us and setting the scene there, Aaron, these cars that are driving through some of those flooded areas, high water areas there on the street, which I know is obviously advised against. But what are officials saying? What's their message to the public right now?
Well, the message is what it always is during these kinds of storms. Just, if you can get out of your house just for a little bit while the storm comes through, that's advised. That, like I said, I think that the worst part of the storm was about an hour ago at this point. The bad part for folks who live in lower lying areas is going to be if the flooding comes in overnight. It's really use your best judgment, use common sense. There's no evacuations at this point. So these folks, they kind of know when to get out, and hopefully emergency managers are just saying, hopefully you won't have to evacuate, and hopefully these lower lying areas won't flood overnight, but just keep an eye on those waters. And if they start to rise up, don't wait too long. Get out before it gets too bad. And like you said right there, you can see this water is about a few inches on the road right now. It's low enough for these cars to drive through, but you don't want to see it get any worse because then it can cause some damage.
Absolutely. All right, Fox's Aaron Mesmer joining us live from Gulfport. Aaron, thanks so much for that report, and stay safe out there.
Yep. You got it. Thank you.
All right, meanwhile, let's give you a couple other looks that we're following right now. This one out of Orlando, Florida. You can see that it's a lot different looking right now in this driving angle that we have here than where Aaron was in Gulfport. Very rainy conditions, very gloomy rainy conditions as well, especially as it starts to the sun starts to go down as well. So a lot to be following here, especially out of Florida and beyond. And as I mentioned, the severe weather that we're following here extends far beyond Florida, and we'll be bringing you more of this live coverage as well throughout our coverage this afternoon into this evening. Meanwhile, a big part of severe weather and storm coverage is also the preparation that comes with it, too. Let's give you an update here. Fox 13's Mariah Harrison brings us this report on how crews and officials were getting ready for the severe weather.
For some residents here in Pasco County, today will be the third major rain event that they've seen in a matter of months, most recently last month. And today, again, flooding is threatening the Gulf Coast. Now, people who live in places like Aripeka, Hudson, they are no strangers to things like storm surge and floodwaters. And today, people who live in those coastal communities could see anywhere between 2 and 3 feet of rising water levels. Now, here's a little bit of good news. It looks like that won't be a problem until later on this afternoon, early this evening. That leaves plenty of time for residents to get to any of the 3 Pasco County sandbag sites. One of them in Newport Richey, that would be the Magnolia Valley Golf Course. Then there's the Pasco County Public Works Building. The sandbag site would be located by Sea Barn. The Veterans Memorial Park will be the third location for residents to go fill up those important sandbags. Now, since Hurricane Idalia, some homeowners say they've been able and had the time to take 2 steps forward with their home repairs, but the rain today could mean 1 step back.
We're still in the process of fixing up the house, so to have it flooded again so soon would definitely be a setback.
Pasco County sandbagging locations are open 24/7. They do provide the bags for you, but they do ask that you bring your own shovel. Reporting in Newport Richey, Mariah Harrison, Fox 13 News.
Mariah, thanks so much for that as well. Let's also give you a look at some of these other damage images and reports that we're getting in here. This first out of Panama City, Florida, a couple of pictures that we're getting here of the destruction there. We're also getting some visuals as well. This is out of the Tampa Bay area too. The powerful storm knocking out some power, sending trees to the ground in some areas, flipping boats, ripping off roof tiles, just some of the damage that we're hearing of, and leaving several vehicles and buildings damaged, including a marina building. There are no reports of injuries, but of course, this cleanup continues. And as you heard Aaron say in that live report there, this is something that residents are used to, and they're hoping it doesn't get as bad as we've seen in previous situations involving severe weather in Florida.